Welcome back to Bbpn. I'm your host Cadet Tank, and we have had an exciting start to round 2, and we have the usual casters to bring you that in-depth analysis of what happened and what's going on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this, why don't we, with Callisti in the VGP division.
Hello and welcome to what promises to be yet another thrilling installment of action from Week 1, Round 2 of Season 10 NATTS League VGP Division. I am your host, Callisti Mayer, the Golden Apple of Discord. Okay, so it's a new round of Season 10, Round 2. We have a whole new host of teams in the VGP division. We just have two holdovers from round 1. The Nurgles and who was the other one? The Blades of Cain. No, Twist and Shout. My mistake. Twist and Shout and the Nurgles were the holdovers from round 1. So we have 4 new teams in the VGP division. You probably know these teams well, but I'm just going to cover them today anyway. I'm going to cover all 6 teams. So we have the first team in the VGP division was the Heretics, coached by Ace Pilot. It's a Chaos team, 1310 TV. Let's take a quick look at the team.
Turn your dark relic to me. I offer up this world and all those upon it. I ask for the reward that was promised.
We have the 4 Chaos Warriors, 1 with Guard, 1 with Mighty Blow, 2 with Block, and one of those block is Dodge as well, so it's a Blodge Chaos Warrior. Very interesting. Then we have a full complement of Beastmen, one of which, Araman 2, is injured. Is this a niggle? I imagine it is. Just confirm that though. Yep. Busted knee. Then we have Krieg Arquebus. Probably pronouncing that incorrectly. Probably based on Chaos Marines from Warhammer 40k. I think Ace went for the Chaos Marines, Cadets went for the Space Marines, and they're both in this division now, so it should be interesting. Interesting matchup when it happens. So we have Krieg Arquebus, who has Safe Hands, or Sure Hands, sorry, and Dodge. So that's a nice pick-up and ball-carrying Beastman. Then we have Kalebor Hal, who interestingly has gone for an Agility Up and Mighty Blow. Little bit of that's an interesting choice. He's gone for the Agility Up, which would suggest he's going to become a ball carrier and do those things, and then he went for Mighty Blow. So he's kind of going for a best of both worlds and probably master of none, but we shall wait and see. And then we have Typhus, who is out. He is a kick beastman though, and he is probably out with just a miss next game. Yep. And the rest of the team is pretty much unleveled. So in terms of development, this is a relatively fresh team, but it is a full team. We have 11 players for the next match. They've probably already played a match. Interesting team. I'm sure they're going to do well in this division. Probably going to qualify for the playoffs, and wish them luck. Let's take a look at some more teams. So we have the Nurgles, held over from round 1 of the VGP division. Now the Nurgles is coached by Storm. It's a Nurgle team, and it's coached by Storm, who is last season's champion. And the Nurgles have taken a little bit of time to get started, like most Nurgle teams do. Quality coach at the helm, so expecting good things. As I said, slow start, but probably going to ramp up fast now. So we have the Beast of Nurgle, who's taking guard. We have 4 Chaos Warriors, one of them is unleveled. The other remaining 3 have taken block. Good choice. We have Pestigore with block and Sure Hands. Another Pestigore with block. And then we have Movement Busted Rotter. A Rotter who's AV busted and out next game. And then we have a Kick Wrestle Rotter. So Kick's a great skill to have. Not sure it's most effective on the Nurgle team, but it is definitely a good skill to have. And this one is a Wrestle, a little ways off from the next level. If it lives that long, might be interesting to have a tackle on that piece. Definitely missing, first thoughts are definitely missing Dirty Player, a Dirty Player piece on this team. That would be a nice addition. And definitely want to get these Rotters, this other Chaos Warrior leveled up. Starting with some levels. This Chaos Warrior right here, Benko G, is close to his next level. Probably going to go Mighty Blow or Guard next. I think my advice would be to go Mighty Blow. Guard would be great for sort of a longer term development. Mighty Blow would be a nice bang for your buck for games to come. Yeah, this is a good team. I'm sure it's going to do well, especially with Storm at the helm. Then we have Adeptus Astartes, Cadet Tank's Space Marine inspired human team.
You want to talk to your gods? I will send you to them.
Sitting at 1600 TV. Now, Cadet was with me in Core Division in round 1 and had a dreadful start to his season and was sort of level pegging with me on the number of players lost. I think when we played our match, we were both down to 8 rostered players. Since then, and he was losing games as well. Since then, gone on to great heights, been winning lots of games, finished well. I think he finished in 3rd or 4th in Core Division. Rebuilt his team. He now has a full team. And I think he even won a game by some ridiculous margin. Yeah, here we go. He beat the Chaos team 6-0. So definitely early games were tough and challenging for him. But definitely after this game versus the Undead, he just exploded and started winning every game. And in some cases against the
Admitted Titans, the power of chaos is within you, calling to this relic. Imagine the Ultramarines dominating this galaxy in glorious conquest, with you at their head. Imagine the power you could wield. As a slave to chaos, nothing you say could tempt me from the path of honor, or from avenging the deaths of my battle brothers.
Oh, so he actually has played 2 games in this division so far, and he's won against the Horus Heretics, and he's won against Twist and Shout. No, Twist and Shout beat him. So 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, sorry. But anyway, yeah, doing well, and I expect him to carry on doing well and qualify for the playoffs. So let's take a quick look at the team. We have Thrower with Accurate and... Is that Hail Mary Pass? It is. Cool, that's crazy. Yeah, so he's gone for Hail Mary Pass and Accurate. I'm sure that's for the long bombs up the other end of the pitch from a defensive position close to his own end zone, and then just hoping he can out-sprint the opposing team to get that sort of quick touchdown out of nowhere. Then we have Blitzer Dante with block and... Oh, you already have block, but tackle. We have another Blitzer, Rogel Dawn, with Blodge and agility. but it is AV busted, so he's going to be a star player, marquee player here, but definitely going to need to be wrapped up in cotton wool and protected from the vicious meanies that are out to get him. Then we have Sanguinus with this is his killer piece. It's got Mighty Blow, it's got Piling On, so a nice pom piece with tackle added on. So definitely this is a real killer piece, and it's going to be sort of racking up the casualties. Definitely not a finesse player. Then we have the two catchers. And he seems to really lucked out with these two. So one has Nerves of Steel and an Agility up and block. So now it's a Blodge, Agility up, Nerves of Steel player. Not quite sure on that one. I'll say why in a second. The other catcher has taken Diving Catch and 2 movement ups. So now we have... if he ends up getting Sprint as his next level, he's going to be a natural one-turner. So human natural one-turner is an amazing rare butterfly, but touch him and he's probably going to dissolve and never fly again. Then we have a block guard lineman, and then we have the ogre who hasn't leveled. He's probably died a few times. This is probably like the second or third iteration of his ogre. Now going back to Vulcan, the catcher with the agility up and the nerves of steel. Once he had agility up, I'm not quite sure how amazing Nerves of Steel would be. And obviously, if he's being swarmed by players, based by players, then yeah, you're making him a better receiver by taking Nerves of Steel, by a ton of players though. But with that agility up, it's still and with the catch skill, he's still a fairly good receiver, even if he's being based by a player. But I'm sure it's working for him, and yep, he's still got some more development to go. Same with Rabute Gilliman, and yeah, this is probably going to end up being an amazing team that's going to go very, very far in the playoffs and maybe even win it all. Then we have the Blades of Cain, coached by Hikaru 2000. Dark Elf team at 1510 TV. Dark Elves are always a challenging team to play against, and probably one of the better teams to play if you're slightly newer to the game. Hikaru isn't newer to the game, so it's almost like he's cheating. And then we have on this team we have Witch Elf with block, so now it's blodge and sidestep. We have another Witch Elf that hasn't leveled yet. We have Blitzer, who has... We actually have 3 Blitzers that are blodge. One of them is a tackle piece as well. And then we have another Blitzer, probably the last one to develop, who he's gone with Mighty Blow just to try and get those SPP in, and also... The Mighty Blow is a double roll, so why wouldn't you take the Mighty Blow? Because it's going to help your blitzers become better blitzers. We have 1 lineman with kick. That's good to see. Dark Elves are definitely a team that can take advantage of good use of kick. And then we have a wrestle lineman, another wrestle lineman who's out next match, and a lot of linemen that haven't yet leveled. Sure, Hikaru's going to go on to do great things. Then we have the Mean Green Dream, coached by Laser Dentist. This is a 1450 Orc team. And we have 3 Black Orcs with block. We have 3 Blitzers with guard. One with one of those guard Blitzers has dodge, so now it's a blodge guard Blitzer. And then we have another Blitzer with Mighty Blow and Piling On. And then we have... Oh, this team has a Troll and it has a Goblin. So there's always a threat of 1-turn touchdown, courtesy of the thrown Goblin. I other than that, this goblin can become like a nice Fowly piece. Probably going to do well as well. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in this division for round 2. And then we have the current reigning champion of VGP division, and I haven't looked at the leaderboard, but probably doing pretty well at this stage of round 2, which is Twist and Shout, the Pro Elf team, coached by Splinter. So yeah, he finished the top of the division, VGP division in round 1, probably continuing that trend right now. So we have 2 throwers, both aren't leveled yet, probably has some thrower death. Then we have 2 blitzers, one with Blodge, another one with a movement up and Blodge. We have a lineman with Dodge and Strip Ball. You want to be going for Wrestle, next level. We have another lineman with Block and Pass Block. Another lineman with Block. We have another lineman who is an Agility up, and looks like he has a Niggle as well. Let's take a quick look. Yep. So again, another player that you're going to want to wrap in cotton wool and look after, because he's a niggled Agility up player piece. Then we have one catcher who hasn't leveled. It's probably a replacement player. This team probably has a lot of attrition. And then we have another catcher who is close to the 2nd level, but right now just has Dodge, which is a good first choice skill choice even for catchers, because you need them to be able to dodge out of being based when they are catching the ball with their nerves of steel and then going and scoring a touchdown. So definitely the choices that he has are good, although it looks like he suffered a lot of attrition. For a guy that's been winning comfortably and winning the division in round 1, and now probably winning handsomely in round 2, definitely this suggests to me that he's been suffering a lot of attrition. And that was it. Those were your 6 teams. So let's see how they've been doing. So we just have 2 teams that have played 2 games. They happen to be Cadet Tank and Splinter. And Splinter is topping the tables with 1 win, 1 draw. We then have Cadet with 1 win, 1 loss. Then we have Blaze of Cain, Laser Dentist, and Hikaru, Laser Dentist, and Storm with a draw apiece. And then we have poor old Ace Pilot with his Chaos team with the 1 loss. Next week, we have these games yet to play. We have the Nurgles versus the Blades of Cain. We also have the Horus Heretics versus the Mean Green Dream. I'm going to pick the Mean Green Dream for that matchup. Nothing against Ace Pilot, but the Orcs just have a natural advantage until you have a Chaos team with lots of level ups and Claw, Mighty Blow. They are going to sort of more inclined to falter versus those bashy Orc teams. And then we have the Nurgles versus Blades of Cain. That one really depends on whether or not Disturbing Presence and Storm's slow-moving Death Chaos Nurgle team can really sort of just get the Blades of Cain, the Dark Elf team, bogged down. If they can, they could win it. If Hikaru's got his head about him, then he's going to be able to just keep his distance and play his game and win that match. That one's a bit more of a toss-up. I think I will give it to the Blades of Cain. And those are my predictions. That is the leaderboard. Those are the teams. Next week we'll be giving you more action. And until then, remember, there's scoring and then there's Callisti scoring.
Nice job, Callisti. I always enjoy how you thoroughly cover everyone's team, and you added a little bit of special effects. But hey, don't hate on my human pro elf catcher, okay? Anyway, let's go ahead and skip over to Ace in the core division.
Hey guys, welcome back to Bbpn, and welcome back to the core division, and we have started round 2 of the NATTS season, and let's go ahead and we can see our 6 teams who have made it in to round 2 for the core division. We have 2 orcs, elves, elven union, or 2 elven union, 2 orcs, 1 undead, 1 nurgle. That's not what the elves would like to see alongside them. So before we get into the match day that has been played and see where they currently stand after 1 day of play, let's go ahead and look into our teams here. So we have the High Rock Horde, who just dominated their own division, getting into this division. Blitzer with Mighty Blow Tackle, Tackle Strength Up, Mighty Blow. All the Black Orcs have leveled to get Block and a Guard, 1 lineman with Block, and a Thrower with Fend and Block. So this is one extremely deadly orc team. Maybe a few more tackles just to really help out with that getting those dodgy players, maybe a pile on, get a few more guard on the Black Orcs, and maybe a troll later on down the road to really shore up that line of scrimmage. And this guy is set. I can see him at least going to playoffs, unless he comes into a lot of claw mighty blow with that Nurgle. He's one of my favorites to actually win round 2. It's a very, very strong orc team. But then you have Luke here with his orc team, and it's kind of a different story. AG1 Black Orc, who cares? He's just in the front line or tying up players. Block on 1, Strength Up and Strip. Blodge, Strength Up, Strip Ball, so that's his Ball Hawk, with a Mighty Blow Tackle for the dodgy players, a dirty player, and a Block with 1 thrower. His TV, though, being just as close, though, is because he is a little bloated with a few more extra linemen. I see him having a little bit harder time than the other one because he is missing a lot of key skills on a lot of key players versus the other Black Orc team. So we'll see where he ends up at the end of all 5 days, but I see their Black Orc team just making mincemeat out of this division. Then we have Callisti Mayo with the Diamond Dogs, the survivors, as we're calling them here on Bbpn at this point, with, you see that right, 9 players. Dodge Strength Up, star player right here is Ziggy Stardust, with a Blodge Catcher backing him up, a Blitzer with Blodge and Tackle, Blodge, and a Thrower with AG Plus for those extra good throws. Another Catcher down here with Dodge. He does have a Niggle on 1 lineman, but it's just the lineman, no SSP. Easily replaced if he is killed. Clissy, you got a hard path ahead of you. Good luck to you, man. Then we have the other elves, the Flying Floofs, who got in here with a much more completed roster, and a much more annoyingly put together one. You got your thrower here with accurate. You have a catcher with block and tackle. You have his star catcher at level 5 now with strip ball, block, dodge, Raj, strip ball, strength up. I mean, this guy is the star of this. If he dies, I'm pretty much saying it's over for the Flying Floofs. I think he commits suicide. He quits the game. He uninstalls, and it's just over for them losing a player like that. Dodge on air catcher, kick wrestle on lineman with guard, and then down here a blitzer with blodge. So really good catchers, but he doesn't seem to be able to keep blitzers, it seems. So that might come back to bite him with just the lack of dodge or block on this team. Might come back and just bite him in the ass later on down the road. And then we have Goat Boy with the Nurgles, Papa Nurgle coming in. So as we see, have the Beast of Nurgle. One cast away from leveling up, but I mean, it's fluffy, he's there, he just ties people up, does his job. All Nurgle warriors have leveled up at least once, with 3 block, 1 opting for claw early, the other one getting Mighty Blow and block, and of course it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He is missing his block tackle Pestigore for next match with a movement decrease, which really hurts. Though his ball carrier, his AG Plus, is not missing one. Marauder was blocked, 3 of them, or 2 with it, one pesty here with block. He's moving down, so he's probably just going to be a dedicated killer piece or tie up people. Just he's a pestigore. He's there to just do his job. So I can see this team going pretty far, especially if you can get maybe Claw on this, the Rock, maybe get Mighty Blow on this Claw here, maybe Guard on some more as another option. Just kind of flesh him out a little bit more, get a few more mutations, and I can see him going pretty far. And then Ghost and Nuffles past the Undead making it in. Both mummies have leveled, again, Guard, decent choices, always helps. Help each other with that Guard, make it really tough to knock them down. One white has not leveled, so that really hurts, but one has with Tackle. One ghoul with Blodge Sidestep, and one zombie with Block. With really no skills to speak of, I mean, Undead can work this. But as you've seen with how developed some of these teams are, especially the High Rock Horde, he could also have it very, very rough going into the playoffs. I could see him going in, though, because it is Undead. They are very versatile. But I don't expect him to be up there, maybe 3-4 at the highest, but he's probably going to be fighting for that last spot because just underdeveloped versus some of these others, and it's going to be rough. It's going to be a very, very, very rough going. So we have had one day played so far, with the NATTS Orcs getting a 2-1 win over the Undead, the Diamond Dogs, the Survivors, getting a 2-2 draw over the High Rock Horde favorites of this division, and the Flying Floofs Elves getting a 2-1 win casted by the Scum with a little help of Elf bullshit, get the 2-1 win over the Nurgles. So as it sits right now, Elven Union, both Elven Union teams and the Orcs are in the playoffs, with Nurgle Undead looking out. The Undead do have a second loss, though, losing 2-0 to the Flying Floofs, as you can see there. So, if he loses one more, it's going to be hard for him to get back in. If everyone gets at least one win, he loses one more, oh boy, it's going to be tough for the Ghosts. Best of luck to him. I would love to see some more Undead. I'd rather not see Elf champions, because, well, that's Night Fears. But we'll see what happens. And so far, that is your Core Division Round 2. Not really much. 4 less teams, way easier to cast. So I'll see you guys next time. And we'll see if any more big development comes with the players, any deaths. And we'll see how this division of Bash, it looks like, shapes up at the end, and see how bloody all the teams come at the end. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.
Ace, is it just me, or did this league get flooded with elves out of nowhere? I think I have a pro elf team, and you have 2 in that division. Man, crazy. Okay, well, hopefully the Bash Fest will help fix that. Anyway, so good job, Ace. Let's kick it over to the Panda in the MCC.
Good afternoon, ghouls and goblins. Welcome to another edition of Panda's MCC. So, we did a Round 1 recap last week, and it looks like Round 2 is just underway. So, what I'm going to want to do is, there's going to be or at least a few teams we haven't even looked at or seen, and a few that we have, so we're just going to treat it like a new division, and go through all the teams, and then we'll check and see where everybody's standing during match day 1. So initial impressions. Superfed, Finhell, McMackey, Tasserin, Floppy, Floopy, And Vort. Well, this is an ugly division for these poor little Amazons down here, I'll tell you that much. Chorf, Khemri, Chorf, Orc, Dwarf. And then the lonely, lonely Amazons. Oh man, this was good. This is a very bashy div. Let's take a look at Superfed. Okay, so 12 deep. Third player kick on the Hobgobbo. It's pretty standard. Guard Bowl forming on the Chorf blockers. Tackle Mighty Blow on the Bull Centaur. So this is going to be really ugly for anybody that gets in his way. There's not going to be too much dodge, I don't think. Honestly, it's just the Amazons in this division, so hopefully he's going to be setting up for a little more success. I don't necessarily think he needs the tackle on the Bull Centaur, but yeah. Wrestle Hobgobbo. Good times. I'd like to see Strip Ball in here somewhere, but doesn't have it. He does have Kick and Dirty Player on the same player, though. I've said it before, I'm not really a fan of doubling these two skills up, as if you use your Dirty Player as intended, you're removing your Kick player from the field as well. But apart from that, it's all good. He's got an extra player, so 3 rerolls, Apo, yeah, pretty standard Chorf build. Finhell with the Khemri underdogs. Still at 2 rerolls. 6-man factor. He does have a cheerleader and a coach to help out with those roles. Let's see. Mighty Blow TG. Unleveled TG, unleveled TG, unleveled TG. So this is kind of the issue you run into with Khemri. They have mummies that have the +1 movement, but they don't get the Mighty Blow to start, so they level slower than Molasses. We got a Blitz Raw with Mighty Blow piling on. Another Blitz Raw with Mighty Blow. He's got a Kick a Block Skelly, which is great. I'd like to see block is good. I like to see block on the Kick players. Throw Raw with Kick Off. I don't know. I've never seen that skill. No one ever takes it. Yeah, Kickoff return. Leader for a extra reroll. Pretty standard build out as far as the Khemri goes. He's a little bit underleveled on the Tomb Guardians, but that can be expected. McMackey, the king of the old division that we were covering. I don't suspect much has changed. Claw, Mighty Blow, Double Guard, Double Break Tackle on the Bulls, Wrestle, Dirty Player. Yep, so he actually went with a deeper bench, +1 Gobbo, as opposed to what we saw from Superfed. And I'm actually a fan of this a little bit more, especially going to be in the Bashy division that he's in, because I can guarantee you at least 1 or 2 of these Hobgoblins are going to get hurt every game. So having 2 players out and still having 11 on the field is going to be huge, especially when he's going to be putting the pain back on the other player as well. So this, I don't know if I like the double break tackle. A single break tackle on the Blitzer would be nice, and then maybe like a Mighty Blow or something. He's only got 1 Mighty Blow and 1 Claw. Same amount of guarded. Yeah, it's 2 different builds. I'm interested. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Superfed and McMackey have both proven to be very solid coaches. So let's see how this works out for him. Tassy-Poo, my favorite. I miss you.
I'm looking forward to these next few minutes.
So there's the Abomination Black Orc, Strength 5 Mighty Blow. We have the Block Thrower. We have a Guard Blork. So Block Tackle, Block Mighty Blow. This is good. Stand firm on the Troll and Guard. He's got the single Gobbo and he's running 13 deep, so I expect some deep fouls. 3 rerolls and nothing. So yeah, pretty standard kind of orc build here. The outlier, I guess, is this freakish black orc. He's like a mummy with 1 extra agility, or a Tomb Guardian. Oh yeah, Tasserin, I expect big things. Don't let me down. The Floopy with the dwarfs. Oh, I see a death roller. So let's see what we got. We got stand. Okay, so stand firm on the Troll Slayer is a little weird. If he was going to take stand firm, I probably would have taken guard on him. I think Mighty Blow is a right first skill. We got a strength up, which I really don't like because they have Dauntless anyway. So when they're hitting a, the Troll Slayers really are using them to make up for the strength disadvantage of the dwarves. So if you're coming up against Tomb Guardians or Black Orcs, the Troll Slayers are going to be up there hitting and using that Dauntless roll. So I don't really think I'm a fan of the strength up. I might have passed on that. It hurts to say, but yeah. So we got a Fend Runner with block, a block runner. We have an AG4 dwarf. That's a little weird, but alright. Really strange. I like the build, Floopy. I like the build, that's for sure. The team's coming out nice. Unlevel Blitzer. What stands out, really, is the lack of guard. So Dwarf needs guard to stay in the game, especially once they're coming up against leveled Chorfs, leveled Orcs. They really need guard to keep going. And then the Death Roller. So I think the Death Roller is unnecessary bloat at this stage. I probably wouldn't have picked that up. Yeah, it's really hard to say. I do like the Death Roller as a player. It's pretty fun. But for this early in round 2, I think 160k would be better spent on getting inducements. Yeah, you get a chainsaw or a wizard or whatever. So I don't really know if I'm a fan of that. But apart from that, looking pretty good. Short of the small guard issue, but he's got a few games to level up in round 2, so we'll see how it plays out for him. And the only dodgy team here, the Vorts. Brickstown Varsity, Coach Vort, with the Zons. So, ton of dodge, Amazon Hallmark. We got an AG4 catcher, which is nice. Block sure hands, Mighty Blow tackle, Mighty Blow guard, and a line woman with block. So this is going to be a very tough round for the Amazons. There is a ton of tackle in this division, just based on the amount of dwarfs. You couple that with he has picked up block, so that's going to help out considerably on most of his players. So blodge, and you know how much of a pain in the butt that is to drop. Even with tackle, you're only still going to knock him down on the stumbles. The block is going to be removed, so it basically resets as if you're blocking. If he's blocking with a dwarf, it's basically like an unskilled player. So he drops, if he gets blocked on a 6 or a 5, he goes down, everything else is nullified or pushed. Well, sorry for a little bit of a ramble. Yeah. I am very curious to see if the Amazons are going to survive. It's going to be very tough. But Floopy and Floopy and Vort will probably be an interesting match. Floopy's lacking on the guard, but has the excessive tackle. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes out. Good luck to all the coaches we covered for this go-around. We'll take a look at the leaderboard. It is match day 1. It should be either wrapping up sometime a bit later tomorrow. Okay, so we have 2 teams, or we have 1 game that hasn't played. So Tastron eked out a win, McMackey eked out a win, Finhell ate a loss, and Vort ate a loss. So, yep, the Amazons played the Chorfs, and that's kind of expected with the amount of tackle and Mighty Blow, especially on McMackey's team. Yeah. So there we are. We still have 1 to be played. It is the Pastoral Symphony and the Beards of Myth. So that's a Floopy and Superfed. Some Dwarf versus Chorf. That'll be interesting, guys. So, with that in mind, remember, pandas never lose. We only win less.
Man, how unlucky do you have to be to end up in division with 3 dwarves, all that tackle, and to be an Amazon team? Man, Vort, if you make it out of that division into the playoffs, you're the man. That's just no way to say it, is a testament to how good you are. Man, power to you, because you're going to need it. Okay, so let's go over to Scar in the CDT division.
Stupid new magical tech. So, I just speak into this thing now, right? Alright, as long as it sounds better. Welcome back, coaches, to CDT Round 2. I am your host, and your resident Dark Knight of the Void, Scar, here to give you all that you need to know. We're going to start off by meeting the new teams. After that, we get to see the first results on day 1. This is going to be a lot of fun, so let's get started. Starting at the top of the roster, we have my team, actually, the Rogue Apothecaries. Let's see how my Filthy Peasants are doing. We got 1 Blitzer with Dodge, Dive, Catch, another one with Dodge, Sure Hands, a third one with just Dodge, while the 4th one is trying to catch up to his brothers. Then we have a blocker with Jump Up, but -1 to movement value. Oh, so sad. Then another one with Guard, and a third with Strip Ball, being the Volhog. And finally, we have a filthy peasant hogging all the SPP and getting Kick. I'm sort of hoping with these 2 level ups I can get more of a passing game and eke into the playoffs. But I'm not sure if it'll work. We'll have to wait and see. Next on the list, we have the Grudge Bearers by Kadaris. Let's take a look-see. This seems like a very well-developed team. We have a runner with Kickoff Return and Block, 2 Blitzers with Mighty Blow, a Troll Slayer with Juggernaut for that surfing play, 2 Longbeards with Guard, 1 Longbeard with Fend, but -2 Agility. Who really cares? It's a dwarf. A Longbeard with Guard and Stand Firm. And finally, a runner with Strip Ball Wrestle. Very good combo. And we look at that, they even have a Death Roller. Oh, isn't this going to be fun to play against? Next up, we have a familiar team, the Tiger Rats by Pumpkin Escobar. Let's see how they're doing. We have a Storm Vermin with Blodge Mighty Blow, another one with Mighty Blow Pile On for that pure kill piece. Then we have a Thrower with Accurate, 2 Gutter Runners with Blodge, very nice, 1 Lineman with just Block, and the star of the team, a Gutter Runner with 3 Strength. Doesn't have as many level ups as some of the other teams, but he has enough that he is actually very difficult to deal with. Next up is the Norskin Wolves by Werecaster. Let's take a look-see. We have a runner with Blodge Sure Hands, 2 werewolf wannabes with block, 1 opting to go further with Mighty Blow. Nothing on the Yeti, but really close. 2 berserkers with Mighty Blow tackle, but 1 has gotten injured and has a minus in armor value. 2 linemen with guard, very nice. And another lineman with kick, but 6 armor as well. This is a very well developed team and a very, very scary one at that. But with no extras whatsoever, and with these 2 injuries, I am seriously wondering if there will be anything left of this team by the end of round 2. Next up, it's another familiar team, Monster Apocalypse by Dr. Helix. Let's see. We have a Flesh Golem with block guard, very nice. A white kill piece with Mighty Blow Pylon, while the other one going for a more supportive role with just guard. We have a werewolf with 4 strength, very scary, but he's had that for a while now. A ghoul with block sure hands, a zombie with kick block, another zombie with dirty player, a 3rd zombie with just block, and a 4th zombie with guard. Very nice. This is definitely finalist material. If only luck would be on his side. And finally, we have the Castaway Rascals, coached by Vapor Gecko. Let's see how these mutants are doing. We have a Warpstone Troll with Claw, a Skaven Blitzer with Mighty Blow Claw, an injured Skaven with minus armor value, but Mighty Blow, a Skaven Lineman with Wrestle Strip Ball. I'm seeing this combo a lot more recently. Another Skaven with Wrestle Tackle, a Skaven Thrower with Leadership, and then onto the Goblins. One has Wrestle, another one has a Big Hand, and 2 have an extra head, because 1 is apparently not enough, with 2 extras. It seems like this team has already taken a beating, but you should never underestimate a good Underworld team. And starting off at the top, we have the Grudge Bearers beating the Castaway Rascals 2-0, and even managed to kill 2 of the little buggers. I can't really say I'm that surprised. Next up, we have the Tiger Rats beating my Rogue Apothecaries 3-2 in a match so frustrating the crowd managed to injure more rats than my team did. Finally, in a surprising turn of events, we have the Norskin Wolves beating Monster Apocalypse 3-0. Is it skill? Is it luck? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, I won't touch it again. Well, coaches, that's it for now. Not a lot to cover, but hopefully things will heat up later. But no matter what, you will all get to witness my team's great rise to glory. Or destruction. Either way, you should all be entertained. Back to you, Cadet.
Nice, Scar. I like it. Short and to the point. And, good luck with Bretonnians that can't hurt rats. Any team that I've had that couldn't hurt rats hasn't gone very far, so, hey, I got faith in you. I really do. Anyway, so, we saved the best for last, everybody's favorite division, the Hooligan Division, that only has 3 MD days. 3 before their playoffs start. Here we go.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So, welcome back to the Hooligan Division. We finished up round 1. So let's take a wee gander about what's actually been going on here with teams. Let's actually take a peek at what did happen in round 1 here. So, week 1. Let's actually look at the prediction that actually went correct, even I'll admit. It's, see, as you can see here, Marvel Airwinds over Tinius and Titans. Yep, the Amazons, as predicted, made use of their extreme dodging and maneuverability, but it was one of those crazy games. Absolutely, the broadcast is going to be very interesting on that one, and you'll see what the end results were to both of the teams. As the big... Come on, get back there. Thank you very much. There we go. But the big surprise, of course, was first round big upset, if you can call it that. 2-2 tie between the Dwarves and, of all kinds, the Kislev team. It was not one of those crazies. You can see about the results here. There's breaks going on here, but you can see the Dwarves have been forced to actually have a passing game. So that tells you how crazy that game was actually getting. So, breakdown. Second week, you're going to see the Dwarves this time against the great old Amazons. That's going to be the Amazons' worst nightmare of a game pending there. As for the Ogres, well, they've got the Kislev team there. Now, is that a good matchup for them? Well, that's going to be a really big question. So let's take a look here. Kislev team. As we can see here, CSK, Edmonton. Once again, they're somehow managing to duck the death spectre of the season. Still not a single death in, I guess that's by now, 10 games going into game 11. And yeah, you can see it there. They're sitting on a level up on, of all things, their big bloody bear. So that's going to make life actually bloody interesting. And gradually over time, slowly, he's got to level these blitzers up, and he's got injuries galore up and down the team. Against the Ogres, this is probably going to be a ticking time bomb. We'll see how he does, though. Probably the sheer amount of speed, though, and ability his team's got. Expect this to be a nasty, nasty game. Now, yeah, you're seeing that right. Let's take a closer look just how damaged the Ogre team actually got this week. They still got the 6 Ogres. The Ogres are slowly still trying to do their thing. They finally got one of the big skill-ups here. He's got the guard. But notice what's even missing even worse here. He's still got the 2 really good Snotlings, but then he's only got one other. The other one's actually out for the game, and he's one of the rare survivors. And you can see here, big gaps here. There's 6 fucking slots missing on his team. He's right now got all of 9 players left. It has been that kind of season for him. He's going to have easily enhancements, but he's going to have just a real problem trying to keep anything on the field. He's probably going to have to resort to the Ogres actually being the ball carriers. We'll see how that game actually goes. Meanwhile, yeah, the Amazons going from strength to strength. This is now threatening to become the actual breakout team here of the Ulligan division here. They've got the first win under their belt, and you can see here they're still gradually skilling up here. They've been paying attention to the casts here. They are adding extra skills. They've even very usefully gotten in the Dauntless there. Tackle, they've even learned a guard here. How would they do? Well, like I said, they're up against the Nemesis coming up here. It's the Sucking Dwarves. Now, as mentioned before here, the Dwarves' biggest problem is they've had to start again from scratch with the runners. 2 rookie runners is really proving to be a liability at this point. But they need them, because otherwise, quite frankly, the rest of your team's all movement 5, and it's all pursuit all the way. This is becoming quite tough for this team to hold its own. So it's going to come down to, well, what are the predictions here coming in round 2? Agents of Dwarf with my eyes, let's face it, it's 2 really good coaches. It's going to come down to, can he get the early breaks on the Amazons? If the Amazons can get away with only getting stuns and getting back in the game, expect the better speed, of all things, of an Amazon team to actually beat the Dwarves, unfortunately. Meanwhile, here, this is going to be going out on a limb here, but we think the Kislev team might just have it on, unless, and this is a key one, depends on the inducements the Ogre team actually goes and gets. Those inducements might win the game. And we've seen that coach, he might just go with the Ogre-Goblin combination, and that might give him the big fighting chance. Knowing his luck, he's actually probably paying attention to the broadcast here. So we'll see how this all goes down in the next round. Should be
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Not into the playoffs, lassie. Not into the playoffs. Nuffle, bless your dice.
Man, I'm excited to see who's going to make it out of that division. The Dwarves are definitely going... I'm willing to bet that they probably secure top seed. I'm just going to go out there and say it. I feel like they have the advantage. And I never say Dwarves have advantage, ever. Anyway. Great job, the Scum. Thanks. And that is it for Bbpn this week. Yes, we're cutting it short. We're not going to make an hour. And I'm not going to stretch it to an hour. I'm trying my best not to. Alright, so catch you guys next week. This is Cadet Tank saying, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but never bet against me.